Hey, Adrian.
Hey.
So we are in Johannesburg, South Africa, man. We have been here since Monday.
Yes,
Yeah,
since
we
Monday.
started
And it's
traveling on
Wednesday.
Saturday. Yeah, so it's started
hmm
traveling on Saturday from the U.S. We arrived here early Monday morning.
We
Like
had
not early.
like a day-long layover
Yeah,
in
day in
Paris.
Paris. Yeah, we were in Paris for 12 hours, which was an experience at the
Yotel.
Yotel. So there's a cool little thing in Charles de Gaulle, and I'm sure they have it at other hotels
Yeah.
around the world, where if you have this extended layover, you can rent a hotel room in the airport
hmm
by the hour.
Right.
So the place was extremely small, but it was comfortable enough. It had a bed, a shower, and a television.
Yep.
So and you could plug up and get your internet access and charge all your devices or whatever have you. So
Right.
we had a pretty decent experience there. And then we landed in Joburg about 11:30 Monday morning.
Right.
And so
Yeah.
let's
Been running ever since.
we've been running ever since. I mean, we drove from the airport directly to the first lawyer's office to sign some paperwork for one of our properties that we actually sent via United States Postal Service to the lawyers, but somehow
About a month ago.
it was lost. So
The last update on the site, the website or whatever, the mobile thing, is that it made it to Johannesburg, and we don't know what happened to it ever since.
it disappeared.
So
It's gone. So we signed the paperwork. Straight from the airport, lawyer's office, signed the paperwork. That was when we walked in. It was funny. Olga, one of the conveyancers, the lawyers. We walked into the reception area. And we're like, "Yeah, look, we need to see Olga." And the lady was like, "May I tell her who is here to see her?" Assad and Adrian, and she. And so when Olga comes out, she was like, I didn't believe it. I thought you guys were over there. I can't believe you're here. We here, baby.
Popped up.
We popped up. Gangsters.
So yeah, we got that out the way.
Yeah.
Then we were able to sign some more paperwork for a different property, and then visit that property and meet the the property manager there.
The property manager. Her name is
yeah.
Pinky. She is a really cool lady. So that property is in Malvern.
Yeah, it's in Malvern.
It's in Malvern, and it is like 12 rooms, and there's also a commercial side, which is empty, which we're thinking about converting into more rooms.
Yeah.
And that was pretty cool. What I did realize, so in 2019, when we first arrived in Johannesburg, I said, this city feels like Houston. And in 2021, I still say this city feels like Houston, Texas. It is so massively spread out. Going from one place to another is 25, 30 minutes. And this is without traffic, because we're traveling like in the middle of the day. So it's not like we were sitting in traffic. I can only imagine during rush hour in the morning or in the afternoon. But it is just massive in terms of the amount of ground and area it covers from one. And I guess someone from Houston would be like, oh, no, it's not that big. But we're from New Orleans, where, you can go from one end of town to the other in about 15 minutes, So coming to Johannesburg and driving, and yes, I have been driving with the steering wheel on the right side. I got that down. I got it. I'm swinging while I'm driving now. I'm good. I got it. But
and we got to visit some other homes. We met with a real estate agent here and got to see some homes in Paulshof area.
Yeah. So that's just, love Johannesburg, but the home she showed us was whack.
Yeah, they were terrible. There were 4 of them, and we were just like,
No shouting. They were very well lived in, and so let's go and call it out.
By humans and animals.
Humans and animals, dogs,
cats, birds, chickens.
I guess this is one of because every homeowner that we saw just so happened the homeowners were there, which is different than in the U.S. In the U.S., when you visit a home that you're looking to purchase, and the homeowner is gone. They vacate unless it's for sale by owner. Do you actually see the owners?
And then they want you to stage it with none of the owner's personality there.
Right.
Try to make it like as just blank as possible, so that the buyer can imagine their own.
Right. so that I can envision what it will look like when I can come in and put here. But these homes had the owners there with their dogs, chickens,
children,
cats, children. And they were, like I said. Now let's get into, I don't want to get it twisted. The homes were freaking huge. I mean,
a lot of space.
They had a guest house upstairs, downstairs, 2 bedrooms, and the bathroom, and I'm like, this is phenomenal. Like, this is somebody's real home, not a guest home in the city. So, but they were just well lived in, and so I guess it's the white South Africans that were there.
Yeah, it's interesting because when we pulled up, they met us, at the door, the homeowners. Well, they met the agents at the door, and we were right behind them, we're following them. And their dogs met us as we walked, up to the door.
I don't like dogs.
And
period.
They didn't call the dogs back. I feel like in the States, they'd be like, no, let's say the dog's name is Fido. Fido, no, come back, Fido,
Right.
But no, they didn't call the dog. The dog just barking, sniffing. And I was like, you're not
jumping
on
me?
You're not going to do that?
Man, these polo pants, man. I don't want your nasty dog jumping on these polos. Ripping. But, so that was an experience. And keep in mind,
like at every house.
We went to 4 houses,
except for the empty one. And
the only place it didn't happen was at the empty house. And the empty house was actually the nicest of them all. It was in a boomed off. So we learned what boomed off means. Yeah. So it means that it's a security controlled area. Mm-hmm. So let's talk about security in South Africa. Some things that we have noticed. It's I don't want to get so anthropological and culturally analytical right now, so I'm going to chill. But what we have noticed is that there is a lot of security in these homes. So one home was in a boomed off area, meaning that there was security to get to the area. Then there was more security to actually get
on their little cluster of houses.
Right, on the street.
Have a code with the gate that opened.
Right. Now at the house, they had a barbed wire fence that went around the perimeter of the house. The perimeter of that little street was with a electric fence. We'll talk about that shortly. An electric fence. So now you have a security gate to get to the neighborhood. Yeah. A security gate to get to the street. That street is surrounded by barbed wire. No, electrical
fencing.
Electrical fencing. And
live voltage.
You're right. And then the house itself had a fence with barbed wire.
And then inside the house,
bam!
Before you get to the bedroom areas, they all have a gate.
A metal
gate that separates living area from bedroom.
Right.
So think about all those layers of security. I was like,
I mean,
are we in Baghdad? Like, how bad is it? Maybe I don't understand the danger I'm in.
And I'm like, man, I am from New Orleans. For those who are not from New Orleans, who don't understand, like, New Orleans is a city with
old people getting robbed.
They rob old people.
Going to grocery shopping,
shoot old people.
Sitting
and
on
everything.
Their porch.
Right.
Like, it's dangerous in New Orleans.
And
damn. Like,
in 1994, New Orleans had right under 400,000 people, and we had 400 homicides in New Orleans. So it is nothing sweet about our city. It's a very wonderful place, very culturally diverse place, a very cultural place. Mm-hmm. Wonderful food, great people, but there are some killers roaming the streets in New Orleans, and they will rob you, shoot you, whatever have you. So when people start saying, like, they speak about the crime in Johannesburg, we're like, I'm from New Orleans.
Right. Like,
anything is better than where we are. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But when we went to these people's houses and we saw this level of security, that's what made me think. It's like, listen, I don't know the crime rates in New Orleans. I mean, in Johannesburg.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it must be.
This seems like overkill. You don't
right. Unless it's as bad, like way worse than we could ever imagine.
Maybe
this seems like I live in a war zone.
I looked up
and
the
there's
statistics.
Anarchy in the streets type security. Like,
exactly.
I was surprised there wasn't snipers on top, waiting on somebody to breach the second barrier.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like no streetwalkers. no one walking the street
out there.
It's like
they can't even walk the street because they can't get past the gates.
Right. So I'm trying to figure out exactly.
How do you have vibrant neighborhoods? Like, how do you walk around your neighborhood and meet people? Kids don't play outside. Well, maybe they do. Maybe we were just there at the wrong time.
And maybe it was.
But I mean, I was like, golly. Like,
so I have to say,
living in this sort of fear must be exhausting.
I think it is. I really think it is a result, and hopefully someone here maybe correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's a result of white paranoia rooted in white guilt. Mm-hmm. Right? There's this fear that someone is going to come back and take property, or it's the same thing with white Americans in the U.S. and that guilt.
They just hadn't gone that far.
Haven't gone that far. So in the U.S., if you have a security entrance into your neighborhood, that's it. You might leave your doors unlocked. You might, because
they
security.
do that even without, Right. We used to always drive through wealthy, whiter areas and be amazed at, like, there's no window dressing, like there's no covering of the windows.
Right.
So you could see, like, all in their house at night. And, we'd always be like, why white folks do that?
Why
Like,
they don't want curtains?
They want no cover. They don't feel exposed, you know? And that's just with no security, nothing.
No security.
Nice area.
So my frat brother, Warren Riley, was the former chief of police of the New Orleans Police Department, the top cop in the city of New Orleans, actually right after Hurricane Katrina. The top cop. And he was also my professor in one of my graduate programs. And I recall him vividly in class saying that you can go to St. Charles Avenue, which is like the historic, rich area of New Orleans, and you can walk up to any house and open the door because they don't lock their doors. And that's probably because the criminals in New Orleans rarely go outside of our own neighborhoods. They rarely go outside of their own neighborhoods or their own communities, so they don't really go up to St. Charles robbing houses on St. Charles, which probably get a whole lot more than robbing your neighbor who's just as poor as you. Right. So, but it was, strange to see all of the security,
It was, I was just like, it felt very overkill. Like, do you feel safe yet? Do you still feel vulnerable? Like, wait, you remember the electric fencing stories?
Oh,
so I asked the lady, I was like, so what happens? I got kids, and kids don't always listen.
Right, especially ours.
So what happens when your children forget they playing hard and they run into the live voltage gate? And she said, well, I had a dog, we walk over there, and my dog ran right through the gate, and he, cried and whimpered for a while, but then he just kept walking after, and I was just like... No,
the other lady said, because that was the homeowner speaking about her dog.
Right, her little dog. The
real estate agent said it was her daughter. You fucking, I'm sorry to be a curse. You traumatized your daughter. She got hit
with a baby girl hit the fence. Cried. I guess it was so much pain. She ran inside, cried, and hid.
She hid.
For an amount of time before. And she was like, but she went outside to play later that day.
She needs counseling. She has been traumatized. She's going to have PTSD. She just got electrocuted.
But it's not enough voltage to kill someone.
What?
Because then we could be held liable.
Exactly. It's murder. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, but that's deep. So caution is not there.
It's deep. I was like, man, y'all must really be in danger to be going through all this. Holy crap.
I don't know, but so let's do a comparative analysis. Here we are in Rosebank, where we're staying in a beautiful Airbnb. It is dope, straight up. And there are no gates on anybody's doors here. None of that stuff. So I don't know, maybe they don't rob in Rosebank?
No, I think maybe they have those neighborhoods. I've seen, typically like the walls around a house.
That's an African.
But this like double, triple gating.
Right. I don't know. It's the most unique thing that I have seen.
It's very interesting.
In the areas. And then other houses that we have seen, I guess, via online and stuff, you just don't see those gates.
Maybe Americans don't because we carry guns.
I mean, we have more guns than you have Americans, so maybe that's what it is. But
Yeah.
I think South Africa has pretty liberal gun laws. Yeah, I think so.
Maybe they strapped up too.
Maybe so.
4 layers and some straps. Woohoo!
I mean, goddamn. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to curse.
Joburg is no joke.
Man, all right, but yeah, we love Johannesburg.
Yeah.
So what else is popping in Joburg? Again, I mean, just seeing the size of the city and everything that is going on, it looks like everyone has somewhere to go. They're moving.
Yeah.
It's a lot of movement.
Busy.
City. And I mean, this was kind of like that trip. So in 2019, we said, oh man, we want to go back to Joburg. We're going to come back in 2020 and just kind of keep visiting. We're just going to buy one place and have our own little place to come instead of, doing the Airbnb thing, whatever have you. But, over the COVID situation, we decided, hey, we really like Joburg. So this trip was going to be to see how we felt about Johannesburg. And the 3 days that we have been here, or 2 full days that we have been here, today's Wednesday, the 2 full days that we have been here still feels the same. It still feels like, yeah, I want to be in Joburg. And